Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Kerr. This is Lake Cumberland Sports, and we are pleased tonight to be at Bray's Diner. And I want to welcome in Kade Grundy and a very proud father and baseball coach at Somerset Field. Grundy, guys, howdy.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Good to have you all here, and you wonder why would they be hanging out with Mike on a night like this? And the reason we got together is Kade has just a couple weeks ago received an announcement that, I don't know, when I first heard it, my first reaction was yes, that's just where I'm going to go. You have been selected, Kade, to be part of the USA Baseball National Development Team. And for people who don't understand that, USA Baseball is a pretty big deal. If you want to go spend a little time, do a little research, I think, Kevin, a little over 200 players that are in the major leagues right now have come through this program.
Yes, sir.
That's 5 40-man rosters. I don't do math, but that's a whole lot of – and there's some names on there that you might recognize. And you have been selected as one of 12 players in the age group to be a part of you had an interesting last summer, and this is where I'm going to let you guys tell me about last year to get us to the selection part. And then what we kind of you've got to look forward to this year in front of you. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he's 16 years old, guys. So let's just throw that in there. This is pretty heady stuff for a 16-year-old, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I love the third part. Phil, walk us through this with Kade and how it started. I know it starts local, but because he's already a D1 commit, he kind of gets a step up.
Right.
And then you start through a regional process, and it's actually a national process that the 12 players that you're a part of come from a cross-section of baseball players across the United States.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was really an amazing amount of talent there. How it started for us, so we got an email saying that Kade had been selected to come to the Ohio Valley Regional. And, of course, they have local qualifiers, and you have to – kind of a stepping stone to get to each level. And I think they had 3 kids that were automatic qualifiers because they committed D1.
To Louisville, too.
All 3 were Louisville kids.
All 3?
All 3 were Louisville kids. And we go to of course, it was a hectic summer. We went all over the place, but we weren't sure we were going to do it first. I mean, we were actually debating because you get all kinds of offers to go to this camp, this showcase, and a lot of teams tag themselves as U.S. Baseball Elite, U.S. Baseball Lit, and they just make – I mean, it's just what they name their teams.
Sure.
So we did our homework.
Yeah.
Made some phone calls. Coach McDonald at Louisville, talked to him, and he said it would be a terrific opportunity for Kade, and it was the real USA Baseball opportunity to build yourself to that Olympic roster at some point. And so we went. Kade played great. Really, I actually played in these 2 tournaments. Did everything he needed to do, threw well through strikes, pitched ahead in the count, and then he hit very well. So it was a fun summer.
I saw some numbers from the initial tournament, and I saw where they said you were 4 for 7 with a home run and 2 triples and a single, that you threw in the low 90s, the 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball, faced 12 hitters and struck out 10, ran a 6.760. No wonder they were somewhat impressed with you, young man. Those numbers are scary.
Yeah, that was probably the best tryout I've had in a while. There was probably 8 or so college guys there. There was one pitcher going to Michigan. They had three separate teams with just people from all over. We had kids from Pittsburgh, Kentucky, Ohio, and Michigan, and we had my team was really good. I had a really good catcher, and I mean, I got to meet a lot of good people that were just probably as good as me, and that's why they made it too.
So you step through that level, and you end up down in North Carolina for the next step in the process. And from that, how many, the cross-section of what we started with at the local level, let's say at the state level, down to the 12 when we get out of the trip to North Carolina, that's in the thousands, right, that they start with?
I think they had 43,000 tryout for that team.
43,000, just some round numbers.
Yeah, that's what their numbers were. They had 43,000 tryout, and, of course, they tried out just like Kade.
Yeah, they started from the –
Start from the bottom, work their way up. And that's what's, and we're fortunate enough that he was invited to them, but we're also fortunate enough that we were able to take time off, go and be a part of that. And he plays for a terrific summer baseball team, the Cincinnati Spikes, that kind of understood that this is a I mean, it really is once in a lifetime opportunity. USA Baseball, of course, 2020 Olympics in Tokyo are coming up, and it's just an opportunity for them to develop this group. And it's a special group. I mean, they're really some terrific players there. I think most of them are already committed to Division One, but to make it out of 43,000, whittle it down to 12, and it's not name recognition like a lot of the, you'll see after season stats, and you'll hear, well, this guy made All-State, this guy made All-World, and it's based on name recognition. Some of that you had to produce in these games. I mean, you had to show up. You had to be good enough in the skills challenges.
Right, the measurables. Yes.
Yeah, and that kind of got your name out there. If you ran well, your exit velocity was good, your velocity from the outfield was good. All those things that they check and are excited about. But you also have to face live pitchers that are trying to get that job too. And that's why I love the USA Baseball was overwhelming to me as a dad, or as a baseball fan. Just coming in, obviously it was a goal. It should be a goal of every baseball player to get an opportunity to represent his country. But for us to go down, not knowing how he would do, and we went down to Western Carolina where I went to college and hit, and his hands were bleeding. He was so focused on getting better in 24 hours. He was ready. He wanted to get better for the next for the actual showcase, and I was just proud of him.
You should be proud of him.
Yeah, it was fun to watch too, but it was overwhelming. I mean, you're talking about the best players in the United States. It wasn't just our level. There were some other levels there too, younger and older, that you just, you walk by and you see Mike Trout's picture of what year he played, and Giancarlo Stanton when he played, and all these guys, and you really, I mean, it is a big deal and it's a big deal for a player, but even as a coach, I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Okay, we go to North Carolina. We've worked our backside off. We do a good job. We get home, and then we spend months waiting to find out, or at least some time waiting to find out whether you're one of the ones that's going to be selected. And your dad kind of dropped a hint to me. I had heard through the grapevine a few weeks ago, 6 weeks or so ago, and I said something to him, and he kind of gave me that, well, I can't say anything but, and then found out a little bit after that, I can't say anything but it looks okay. And now the moment I saw the email chain to where you found out, tell me, I know I saw you score 41 as an 8th grader against a crosstown rival. I've seen you do some pretty crazy stuff on a football field. There's a lot of stuff. But how do you take that and process it? I'm 16 and I'm getting ready to be a part of something like this.
I don't know. I was super excited.
Sure.
Yeah, I get to go. I get to go to Tokyo, but this coming up summer, I get to go to play at Wrigley Field, which is a major league field. It's pretty exciting.
This summer, I know Wrigley's on the map. Did you say Miller Park? A couple other places that you guys are going to get to go and play?
Go. Yeah, pretty much all over the country.
I paid good money to go to Wrigley to stand in the rain to watch a baseball game. That's awesome to be, and you will be playing in live action on the field at those games,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
That's crazy. I mean, that's good
it's
stuff. That's jealousy stuff now we can start talking about.
I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
Well, anybody who's seen you play, pick the sport. I've seen you in all three, at least three. You see somebody who doesn't like to lose, somebody who's going to play as hard as they can play every minute that you let them play. And hard work sometimes pays off a little bit.
Yes, sir.
I mean, skill's going to take you so far. But when you get to that level, everybody can play. They didn't have too many guys that Dad got him down there because he drove the bus and bought the uniforms. And you went down there and just under the pressure just did what you did. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was super happy how I played. I was probably the best pitching performance I've had all summer, probably all year. And it was in front of the right people, and that's just went from there, I guess.
Yeah, in that situation down there, they have each team, they have coaches from their regional that we didn't know until we actually tried out with the region. But then they also have a task force, and they send there'll be 16 guys, 20 guys that are always watching you.
Right.
And they say they go in and they kind of engage you in conversation to see what kind of kid you are. They check Twitter. It's one of those things where they want you to be.
They have to, Coach.
Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah, they want you to be a good representative of the United States baseball.
When they commit to you to the level that you're going to be at, they can't let you have something crazy going on too.
Right.
But I look at this, and I read an email that I don't know if I was privy to see or not, but you shared in the email chain, And there were some compliments in there that I don't know if your dad's even shown them to you about what people at the tryout said about you. And a couple of those are just make you smile when you say, best kid down here. Okay? I mean, that takes it to another level where you're going, okay, I got here, I did a pretty good job, and somehow I got through the process. No, you got a guy who's in charge saying, best kid down here. That's got to be pretty wild.
Yeah, they a bunch of those task force guys talked to me like during our showcase and during the games. They sit down on the field with us. They come in our dugout, talk to us, ask us how our summer's been, ask us how we like the USA, like the complex and everything. And I don't know. I mean, I liked all the guys. They're all nice to us. They all ask us good questions and stuff, and just to see how good of a kid we are, or how we know the game and stuff. But,
kid. I'm going to go young man. All right.
Okay.
Now, you call yourself a kid. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to go young man. Yes, exactly. Stay that way. Here's another one. This summer when this starts, high school baseball will end 1st of June. Will it come after that? I mean, will you be able to get through your high school season? And then this summer is going to be away from home, right? I mean, you're going to be on the road almost constantly.
Yeah, I think they go down to North Carolina right away. Then
we fly from there to Chicago.
Then they go to Washington Nationals. They go to several major league parks. Then they go to Arizona, Phoenix, and they do a 3-game set out there. And they're playing teams from all over the world. I mean, Colombia. They'll play Italy and some really fun teams. And it's just it's going to be I guess a wealth of experience just to see those places. I told him a lot about one thing as a baseball player that I always wanted to do was I wanted to go see everything I could see. I spent years in Dominican Republic and years in Venezuela, and I wouldn't trade those memories. It's just something, and I want him to have them. I want every kid to have them, but I'm proud that he'll have this opportunity with the USA across his shirt.
You wintered a couple times in the Dominican and down that area, didn't you?
Oh, loved it. Yeah, loved it. Loved the level of baseball. It's unbelievable.
All right. You reached a very high level that very few people around here have reached in baseball in your career. How does it – I mean, you would have never been given an option to play in an Olympic game or anything like that, and now that's kind of out there in front of you all right now. And just think about the universe of people, and somehow you're going to get to probably step out there with USA on your chest. That has got to be one of those – you can't dream about this when you're 8-year-old. You might dream about playing in the bigs. Maybe taking ground balls at Wrigley sometime, being out there and looking around. All of a sudden, you're talking about having maybe an opportunity to have USA on your chest and go play in Tokyo on the big stage of the Olympics. That's mind-boggling.
It's really cool. I'm glad I get the opportunity to.
One of the fun things that we did, we always watch that first round of the Major League Draft on ESPN, and we're watching, or actually MLB Network, and we're watching it, and I can't even count how many kids came across with a USA Baseball.
That you knew who they were.
Yeah, and that they were being drafted in USA Baseball, and they showed them hitting in games, and they showed them in these training tournament of champions, tournament of stars. It's an elite opportunity that he's blessed to have. I mean, it is a big deal.
To the untrained eye, I tried to play the game a little bit. We've got one thing in common. We all played at Somerset, so we've got one thing in common. That's as best I can stretch. But I watched you, your dad, you probably remember the conversation because Rick Girdler was involved, and he and I were doing one of the ball games up there, and Girdler told me, who we go way back, he put his arm around me, he said, Phil's best ball player is not on the field. And I think you were an 8th grader at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And I said, who are you talking about? He said, Cade's best baseball player he's got on his team. And I thought, okay, well, you weren't in the lineup. Well, we did the game, and for whatever reason, you ended up getting into the game relatively early, and you yanked one off the boards and hit a triple right off the bat, is my memory. And all of a sudden, I'm going, quite a debut. Looked pretty good.
First time you remember Rick being right?
Yeah. For Rick, that was – but what I said is my eye saw 2 or 3 things that they used to tell us back in the day. God gives you a little bit of ability to run and throw. A lot of other things grow, but those you got to have. And you showed that right off the bat. And then I said, and he wants to beat people. The night that you beat Pulaski in basketball at Somerset, I think 41's the number, but
33.
33, whatever it was, a bunch.
Yeah.
But you came in that game as probably the youngest guy on the floor. But you came in that game to beat somebody. You didn't come into that game to play around and, say, okay, I'll try to get a shot up here. And to me, you showed that whatever time I get, I'm going to take advantage of it. And I think that's kind of what happened this summer, right?
It is. And that's the thing. I mean, you only get one shot at that. I mean, you don't get a
you don't no do-overs.
Yeah, you don't get to redo a game. You don't get to say, hey, let me try that again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you put out there. It's the product. And he stepped up, and he really did. He stepped up and took advantage of an opportunity that, that wouldn't have been there had he not had a great summer the year before and been exposed. But there's a whole bunch of guys that walked away from that can play baseball.
Certainly. And
there was a whole bunch of terrific baseball players
local
down there.
people from Kentucky, like
there's some
kids from
terrific
Danville
kids.
and Trinity
Yes.
they're really good, both going to Louisville, and they turned it down. But and they probably would have made it too. They're pretty good.
There's a lot of kids.
When opportunity presents itself and you take advantage of that, that's how doors open. And obviously you did that. Coach, as a father, I mean, you've lived baseball. Let's be honest with you. It's been a huge portion of your life up until now till you learned to hit a golf ball 800 yards or whatever it is. But how proud are you that he's going to get to live the dream, even bigger dream than most all of us ever had at one time?
Oh, I'm so proud. I mean, you can't even put into words one, I'll say this. All three of my kids
I agree
are better than I was at sports. Cross was a lot years better than me in basketball and baseball.
He can play.
And when he got after it, Kade is right now throwing harder than I threw and a lot better command than I had in college. And, of course, I tell the kids this all the time. I got drafted. I had not turned 20 yet. I was in AA at 20. And so games changed a little bit. I never threw what he threw. I had to, spot pitches and develop into a better velocity guy. But Cade's been blessed. He's been healthy and throws the ball hard, but he actually knows where it's going. So
okay, he used the D word, draft. That's got to be somewhere in the back of your mind somewhere. I know there's a lot of things on your plate right now. But this is an opportunity that's going to showcase and open some doors, and that's something that hopefully we'll be sitting here in a year or two, and we'll be talking about whether you're going to make a business decision to go to Louisville or you're going to go play at the next level. And let's just hope that opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, I hope I get that opportunity. If I keep up what I'm doing right now, I should. But I mean, I'd love to go to Louisville. I mean, but if I get the chance to go to the MLB, I'm gonna
that
go.
chance will come.
Yeah.
Well, every kid.
That's a dream.
In any society that loves baseball as much as we do, that's their goal. I mean, you want to play for the Yankees, you want to play for the Braves, the Cincinnati Reds, whoever you grew up.
Pittsfield, whatever, any team
that
they put
matter,
a uniform on and call it.
And to get drafted, I say this a lot to guys, is it's a life-changing experience just to say you were drafted.
Right.
I remember, we've been fortunate in this community. We've had four kids drafted out of this community. Steve Swell also got drafted before Darren and before me, and then obviously Josh after us.
I would have got 3 out of 4. I didn't
Steve Swell was a catcher with the Braves organization. Played at Pulaski.
Right.
Terrific kid.
Yes.
Terrific. He actually, when I was in high school, came back and helped us. He would catch our bullpens, and he was trying to get back. He was trying to get to the big leagues.
Right.
But the odds of playing Major League Baseball are slim. But there's no reason that you wouldn't want to have that goal. And if you can get an education out of baseball like I did, and that's what I said, with growing up poor in a trailer park, where we're at right now, we're pretty proud of.
Again, the story of 10,000 town population of Somerset, Kentucky, plus or minus 10,000, with a chance to be in Tokyo with USA across your chest. That's a dream, okay? That's stuff that dreams are made of. All right, favorite sport until all this happened. Which was your favorite sport?
Baseball.
Baseball? Okay, baseball. What about your favorite Major League Baseball player?
I like Carlos Correa, the shortstop for the Houston Astros.
All right. What about your dream baseball park to ever set foot in?
Park? That's tough. Probably Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
Okay, I can relate to that. All I can say is we're going to follow this a lot because some of us are baseball junkies. And the congratulations, I mean, they're out there. All I can say is, young man, take it and ride with it. Go,
Yeah, I
go
will.
enjoy this thing.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm pretty
Grundy?
excited about it.
You want any final shot before we hang this up?
No, I just want to say I'm proud of him. And, like I said, we've had a lot of great baseball players in this area. And, none of us got this opportunity. None. And believe me, we all wanted it. And maybe we didn't step up at the right moment or had a little bit less ability, whatever it is. And stars are aligning, and that's what it takes.
Amen. The other thing is, I heard when Louisville announced that they were going to commit to an 8th grader in Somerset, Kentucky, and I heard the name, I smiled. And then I've heard a couple people make snide comments about that. To any of those, and this will be out there for the whole world to see, to any of those who made those comments, he will be wearing USA on his chest, and he is here, and he can play at Louisville if he chooses to.
Yeah, we believe he can, and Coach McDonald believes he can, and Coach Snyder, and the staff up there has been great, and they were very supportive of this USA baseball opportunity. I mean, obviously, it's a big deal, and that's something Coach McDonald's real big in.
Yeah.
Kade Grundy, last time from Lake Cumberland Sports, for all the fans of baseball in this area and for all the people who will see this. Congratulations,
Thank
young
you.
man.
I appreciate it.
Best of luck,
Thank you.
Phil. Thank you.
Thank you for
He's
having
Kade
us.
Grundy. We're looking forward to 2020 maybe Japan, and seeing this young man on the field. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
Lake Cumberland Sports, we're going to wrap this thing up with hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. See y'all.